loan to stabilize Naira, but Cardoso needs time to plan. At the service to Nigerians, PDP tackles Tinubu over appeal to stop release of his academic records. FAC, federal government states LGS shared 1 trillion naira in August, up by 192 billion naira. Delta Guba, I will appeal floor tribunal judgment, says Umo Agege. Over 4 billion naira still intact. Oyedele reacts to the cable report on NAMI's suspicious approvers. Tribunal affirms Oberevoveri's election as Delta governor dismisses Umo Agege's petition. And we also have this one, I can't do without you. Umahi apologizes to ministry workers after locking them out. Police extradite suspect from UAE to Nigeria over 492.7 million naira fraud. And we also have this one, EFCC secured 1,688 convictions between January and September, says acting chairman. We won't be part of it. IPOP asks Southeast resident to shun Independence Day celebration. NAFDAC tomato paste containing sugar safe for human consumption. We are working for you. Adejobi asks Nigerians to stop attacking police spokespersons on social media. And this also says Pension Insight, PENCOM enhances workers' retirement benefits through additional benefit scheme. Abdullahi Sile, CBN will use NNPC's $3 billion loan to stabilize Naira. And of course, that appears to be a story we've taken earlier. FAC, federal government states LGS shared or right 1 trillion naira in August. And of course, we'll take one more before leaving the cable NG this morning. And this is saying inside how disinformation on social media is feeding crisis in the J Republic. All of that are coming from the cable NG this morning. All right, in case you're just joining us, it's the Break It On Papers review here on your live today, 32 FM 94.9, and we're looking at some of the front pages of the national dailies in Nigeria. We take this one from the Punch newspaper front page. Federal government states elders shared 1 trillion naira August revenue. Germany, Sweden orders deport 170 Nigerians in 9 months. That's according to a report. Disease Lagos boys intestine not missing before transfer to Lassos. That is coming from ANPMP chair. And other top story says tribunals decide Ogun Secretary governorship poll petitions today. Strike may delay Atiku Obi's appeal stall tribunal sittings. And we have this one, how cooking gas explosion left me partially blind. That's according to Imo technician. Last minute move to avert strike fails. Labour shuns federal government's meeting. Poor students' parents seek tuition fees reduction as Independence Day gift. And Mo says fifth Lagos shorts Ladipo market. 3 orders in 1 week. Gunmen abduct retired army general in Imo. And of course, all of that are coming from the Punch newspaper front page this morning. We also look at the Guardian this morning. Also get all the top stories here right on the front page of the Guardian. And we have this one, insecurity unsettles Abuja ahead Independence anniversary. And it's saying residents of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Abuja now highly unsettled following widespread insecurity around the city center and some outskirts characterized by frequent and indiscriminate robbing and abduction. Right, still on the front page of the Guardian, we also have other top stories that says, okay, uphold workers' rights. ITUC Africa tells Tinubu, right? It's saying uphold workers' rights. ITUC and Africa tells Tinubu 5 billion naira from FIRS was for data for tax project payment of staff, says Oyedele. 5 billion naira from FRS was for data for tax project payment of staff, says Oyedele. Too early to go on strike. Tinubu, Sultan Beg, NLC, TUC. Nigeria records 7,200 cases of diphtheria, 453 deaths. Navy debunks extortion harassment allegations in Badagry. And we have this one, federal government launches innovation scheme to support Information Technology. And this also says CSO's petition Senate accused Daniel of plotting to destabilize Ogun State. Okay, let's also look at other top stories here. Right on the front page of The Guardian, over 2,500 migrants lost to Mediterranean in 2023, and it's coming from a United Nations report. Lagos Blue Rail, an impact on commuting. Okay, we'll take two more before leaving The Guardian this morning. France ambassador leaves Niger after withdrawal announcement. All right, now we'll look at the Nation newspaper and also look at other top stories here right on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. And this is making the front page of the Nation newspaper. Strike. Labour adamant Sean's Pali called by government. Strike. Labour adamant Sean's Pali called by government. And we also have other stories. Article on fishing expedition. Tinubu tells U.S. court. Coroner holds preliminary sitting on Mohbad's death. And this says demolitions. Court orders Kano governor to pay shop owners 30 billion naira. Lagos bans street trading, hawking statewide. Terrorists attack Niger community, abduct 31 villagers. And we have this one, confusion shrouds health condition of Tourism Minister Ade John. Okay, and let's also look at other top stories here. APC intervenes in Ondo impeachment saga. Okay, and more stories here still on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. This says Kano screens 1,800 prospective couples for mass wedding. How spiritual son snatched by wife prophet house court. And of course, still on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. In entertainment, this is Naira Marley. Mohbad was suicidal before that, coming from Naira Marley. And of course, we take this one from the sporting arena of the Nation newspaper this morning. Will Osimhen quit Napoli for Al Hilal amid TikTok row? And that's a question mark. And before we leave the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, why I won't be distracted by propaganda on my victory by Governor Uba Sani. All right, we're also going to be looking at the front page of the news engine here of the Premium Times. And the Premium Times has a special report. Climate change worsens plight of Nigeria's cocoa farmers. Another more headlines here on the front page of the Premium Times. Blackout looms as Nigerians electricity workers join labor unions planned strike. Southeast Summit. Igbo can't afford to be intolerant people. That's according to Solido. Solido warning. And we have where faces Bohake. Others again as Liberians prepare to elect new president. Nigerian government grants 1.8 trillion naira tax incentives in 2022. And we have this one as exclusive. Top terrorists who attended secret meetings with Nigerian officials. And this says Nigerian government acquires new attack helicopter. And more here on the Premium Times. World Heart Day. Nigerian government laments rising deaths from hypertension, stroke, others. Nigerian government takes aim at rich persons to grow tax revenue. And this also says why Africa continues to experience coups. It's coming from former President Goodluck Jonathan. Nigerian government firm launch initiative to provide 3 million persons with digital skills. And of course, it says updated court fines Kano government 30 billion naira for illegal demolition. Man drones in Ogun Hotel swimming pool. And all of this making what appears to be the headlines of the Premium Times news engine this morning. All right, you're still on to the Break It On Papers review here on 32 FM 94.9. Of course, you've been looking at the front pages of some of the Nigerian dealers this morning. And of course, we have Austin Aduma joining us virtually to do the analysis with us this morning. Good morning, Austin.
Yeah, good morning, GBOLABO.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Good.
Let's quickly look at this one. It appears to be Labour isn't going to back down with a planned strike. And I do know that many Nigerians are complaining bitterly right about now in terms of finances and in terms of having access to basic commodities of life. And now Labour is saying last minute move to avert strike fails. Labour shuns federal government meeting. Now, what does this signal for us? Having Labour shuts down the economy come Tuesday.
Yes, thank you once again, and good morning to all our listeners and our audience. It's very painful that the government had to take so many things for granted. In short, when this particular administration came on board, some people believe that, because of the capacity of the president or his antecedent, things probably will be done differently. But a lot of Nigerians too also believe that, since they have the same party, nothing really will change. The point I'm trying to make is that the Tinubu administration has not really demonstrated enough commitment to show that there's a paradigm shift between what used to happen in government and what it should be. In my view, the government have not been proactive enough to engage the Nigerian Labour Congress. Right. In short, I will even put it on record that even Tinubu as the president, when he was newly sworn in, he did more of engagement, consultation, even without cabinet members, even without appointed aide. He did so much engagement and consultation as an individual, as a president at that time, compared to now that there are ministers and other government top officials. It's quite unfortunate that the NSC had to give 2 days warning strike. I think early August or so, they went on 2 days warning strike. And at the end of the day, they gave 21-day ultimatum. I think the 21-day ultimatum expired 2 days ago. So what was the government looking for? What was the government doing all this while? You know, there is this spirit that, those in government feel that, they can't do anything, they will rant, they can't go on strike. And at the end of the day, we begin to make fire brigade approach. We begin to have a 9-minute meeting as if there were not enough time to discuss some of these things. There are certain policies of government that is good for the economy, that is good for all of us at the long run. But the basic question is that if you promise me a better future, it is only when I'm alive that I can enjoy the better future. The economy is biting seriously hard in Nigeria as we speak now. So the government must do something to ameliorate the suffering of the people, the plight of the people. So let's just put NSA aside that, some people will tell you that strike should be the last option. What do you expect from a labor movement that has given 21-day ultimatum? What is government doing? This was the same practice of the immediate past administration, the Muhammadu Buhari administration. Labour will say they want to go on strike. Various unions in the country will say they want to go on strike. The government will simply watch and wait. And at the 9 minute, they begin to blackmail them. I was marveled today when the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, came out to say that Labour should honor the subsisting court order that barred them from going on strike. Strike is not even the crux of the matter. What has the government been able to do right from the time of subsidy removal? In the month of August, for example, I think July or so, the federal government, federal, state, and local government, they shared over 900 billion naira, the first in recent history. In August, the same thing. In September, I learned that they are sharing about 1.1 trillion, which means that as a result of subsidy removal, to the coffers of the government has increased. So the more money the government make, the more impoverished the people become. How do you reconcile that? We are not even talking about luxury lifestyle. We are talking about basic necessity. People cannot afford to feed. People cannot make ends meet. People are losing their job. Inflation is on the increase. Exchange rate is on the increase. The cost of doing business is skyrocketing. How do you want the common man to cope in the middle of all of this? So for the NSA strike, well, I don't believe and I don't also agree that the economy that is so fragile should be shut down. But whatever that happens, if the strikes get through, I think the government calls and allow it. That is the way I feel. Because before now, the government is supposed to engage. The NSC, they are saying that they want 200% wage increment. Personally, I believe the government may not be able to afford that at this time. But what has the government been able to put on the table? That's the issue. You must engage. You must show commitment. Between the time that this president came on board and he announced in his inaugural speech that subsidy is gone, what concrete effort has been put on the table to cushion the effect? What concrete effort? That is what we are talking about. This government talk about mass transit. They talk about a lot of things. What the common man cannot see anything on the table. The excruciating pain is becoming too severe. So a lot of things are involved in all of this that we are saying. So I believe that there is still enough time between now and the 3rd of October, which is on Tuesday. If the NSC will agree for a meeting, so be it. But if they shun the government at all costs, well, in my view, I feel that the government is more to be blamed in this matter than even the NSC, because they shouldn't have waited for 21-day ultimatum to be over before serious commitment and engagement. That is the way I see it.
All right, Austin, let's also look at this wave of the tribunal judgment. I don't know what this means. Is it that all the elections that were held were shoddy elections? It was not properly done? And is this a more or less like flogging INEC in the public? Because if you look at what happened in Plateau, where you have the speaker being sacked, then you also go to Delta State Omar Agege's petition. Obviously, you have that being thrown out. Now, the tribunal is supposed to also decide out of Ogun, Sokoto governorship poll petitions today. So it's been a wave of petitions. And obviously, it is telling us that INEC did really bad at the 2023 elections, because we do know that many individuals, or even what do we call them now, those who supervise and monitor the elections in terms of independent monitoring of the election, some of them said the election was better off than what we had in previous years. But from this wave of petitions and what has been happening across the court system, what does it tell us about INEC's preparation or outing at the last elections itself?
Yes, if you look at the last election, a lot of things are involved. We must agree and realize the fact that our electoral system is a work in progress. We must realize that we continue to work around it with the view of improving the whole system, so that in the nearest future we'll get to a level where the outcome of our election will be something that everyone can vouch for. By so doing, we'll be able to reduce the level and the number of litigation drastically. Having said that, INEC alone cannot guarantee credible election. I've always said this, and by implication, the wave of tribunal judgment does not in any way cast aspersion on what INEC has done.
But Austin, they have the logistics. So what is the complaints? They never made all these complaints before the elections. They told us, for instance, that there's going to be transmission of result right from the polling unit, for instance. And they said everything was in good preparation. They had prepared well. Now, what excuses do we expect for INEC from INEC at this time?
See, GBOLABO, the Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly that ring himself into the office and tribunal decide to take him out, how does that affect INEC? For example, politicians want to win election at all costs. A lot of our politicians are not ready to abide by INEC rule. Of course, INEC has its own share of the blame, but I can tell you categorically that the blame should go round. Do you know why? Look at it, for example. INEC promised real-time transmission. We have condemned INEC for that. And don't also forget the Nigerian factor, where INEC fails us in transmitting the election results real time is that of the presidential election. That was where INEC failed. Real time transmission, not as if INEC did not still transmit the presidential election result, but it just like this popular saying that what I order versus what I got. What INEC promised was quite different from what Nigerians got at the end of the day. And the process, especially that of the presidential election result transmission, gave room for suspicion. Because when you promise real-time transmission and result is not coming on time, and at the end of the day, people, anything can happen. There could be manipulation in the process. The reason why real-time transmission of election result is good is that it will abolish the rate of manipulation between the voting center and the manual collation center. But don't also forget, this real-time transmission of result is just a creation of INEC to deepen and enhance the credibility of our election. Electoral Act, for example, is a conflict with that. Electoral Act does not support real-time transmission. Electoral Act states that election results should be computed, whether manually or electronically. But at this particular age and time, it is electronic transmission of result that is the best for us. So for presidential election, INEC failed in that. If you look at the wave of petition across the country, it's not that, oh, maybe all the cases are being dismissed. The only governor that have been set aside for now is that of Kano. That, oh, the Kano election, the governor has been set aside. Every other sitting governor across the country so far, apart from the two that will be decided this Saturday, they have had their election. Look at Delta State, for example, where there are a lot of violence and what have you. The petition of Ovio Magige has been thrown out. And don't forget, there is a lot of dynamics with election petition tribunal. It is always very difficult, especially when it comes to governorship and presidential election. The onus on proof is on the petitioner, and it becomes extremely difficult for a petitioner to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. That of the presidential election is like when you are proposing that a camel should pass through the eye of the needle. That is how difficult it is to prove a presidential petition. For example, because we have over 174,000 polling units in Nigeria, and the Electoral Act and the law expects that a petitioner were to provide witnesses across board in all the polling units. Where is the time? Where is the resources to be able to do that? So that is the problem that we are having. That does not mean that there are no challenges with our election. I believe that INEC can do a lot better, but we also need cooperation on the part of our political class or on the part of the ruling elite, because no politician, no matter how unpopular, they want to win election at all costs. Me, I'm even looking forward to a time where we'll conduct election and people will accept the outcome of the election. Why will people accept the outcome of an election? When the process is transparent, when the process is open, when the process is credible, and when the process is fair. So INEC should do more. Politicians too should be called to order. The best bet for all of this that we are talking about is a kind of holistic review of our electoral process. We must deploy more of technology and reduce human interference in our election.
All right, let's look at this sharing of monies. When you say sharing of monies within fact, there's this cringing effect you get. Like, what's going on here? Federal government, states, local governments share 1.1 trillion naira August revenue. Now, the Federation Account Allocation Committee says it shared 1.1 trillion naira among the three tiers of government for August 2023. FAC disclosed this in a communique issued at the end of its latest meeting. Now, this idea of sharing money, doesn't it make the state even more of a weakler? For instance, you're talking about resource control. And now you have instances where the state don't even have power over the resources within their domain. They have to go cap in hand to the federal capital territory and go there and go and share revenue. And some of them have even lost ideas or ideals of how to develop their state and harness the resources within their domain to make profit or revenue for the states. They go to fact to share money all the time. And this sharing of money, 1.1 trillion, that's a lot of money for many Nigerians. Now, isn't that something that we need to stop in terms of this Federal Allocation Committee sharing monies to the state governors who should develop their states and not go to Abuja all the time and wait for what they get from FAC?
Yes, there is a lot of debate around this subject matter. I think what should worry us the more is that the more money the government make, the poorer the people becomes. That is what should worry us the more. It's a matter of law that the federal government at the end of the month had to share revenue for both federal, state, and local government based on the existing structure. Of course, we claim to be operating federalism. That is where we stand today. But the ideal system of government that we should operate is what we call fiscal federalism, where resource control comes in, like you have said. But we can't go into that conversation because that is not what is currently practicable in Nigeria. What we have in Nigeria today is simply feed the bottle federalism, where people go cap in hand to go and beg for money. And at the end of the day, the governors become so lethargic, they don't think outside the box. They believe that whether they do, whether they perform or not, revenue will come from Abuja at the end of the day. Having said all of this, I want us to beam our satellite on the revenue, the money that is being shared. In the month of July, for example, I told you the money that came into the federation account was close to a little shortfall from 2 trillion. That time, the governors wanted to share over 1 trillion. The president said no. Let 1 trillion go into savings while we share 995 billion naira. That is still a whole lot of money. The question we should ask is, where is this money? Subsidy has been reduced. In the twilight of the Buhari administration, what the federal, state, and local government used to share is like 600 billion, 700 billion. Now we have increase in the revenue, in the distributable revenue that is accruing to the 3 tiers of government. What is the government doing with this revenue? We are talking about palliative. Up until today, we still find it very difficult to address the issue of palliative. All of this money that is coming on board, the only language that Nigerians understand is a better economy. Fix the economy, fix inflation, fix exchange rate. It's shameful that we now have a situation where a dollar, a US dollar goes for 1,000 naira. That is the level we have gotten to. In that type of economy, what can you do? And we listen to the dictate of the West and what have you. I think we must develop indigenous modus operandi to tackle our economy. Thank God the CBN has been put in place. There's a board in CBN now. Let's see what they will come up with in the days ahead. It is not even the idea that states should be able to control their resources or generate money. The question is the money that is accruing. What are they using this money for? The states that are not proactive, the states that are not viable today, states that are still owing salary, states that they are collecting this money and there's no dividends of democracy, including the federal government. At the end of the day, if they control their resources, how sure are we that they will use those resources to the advantage of their people? So it is not about money. The idea of going to Abuja to share money is opaque and archaic. What we should look at is look at the approach of governance. What can we really do to think outside the box? However, we need more money too. The money we talk about today, there is just an increment. For us to be able to get to a comfort level, we need to rake in more revenue. That is another area the government had to work on. But we must situate that vis-a-vis the livelihood of the people. What is the per capita income for the people? Like I told you earlier, the government is making more money, the people are becoming poorer. How do you situate that? How do you situate that? Because the whole essence of governance should be the center of the people. How would the people benefit from it? That is the whole idea. It's just like in normal marketing, that marketing start and end with the people. Before you go into production, you sample the need of the people. After production, you dispense it to the people. That is how good governance should look like. You look at the people in view, because we talk about democracy. It's a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. And if it's our government, and by some of us, it should be for our advantage. It should be for our betterment. But today we are just hearing figure, 1.1 trillion naira has been shared. What is the benefit of the common man? How does this revenue distributable to the tiers of government put food on the table of an average man? In Nigeria, We have a country where government policies and programs kill small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria. It is so hostile. It is so, the economic situation in Nigeria is so volatile today. People cannot make ends meet, and people are being impoverished. People are suffering. There's no value for money again. The purchasing power has been grossly eroded. What is the government doing about that? Of course, there have been a lot of economic reforms here and there. The government want to give us a sustainable economy, a very strong, a very robust economy. We are calling all the investors all over the world to come. And there is this saying that says that charity begins at home. So the government must look inward. We must fix our woes and ensure that we take urgent and audacious effort to take people out of poverty. That is what we are talking about. Any government policy that cannot take people out of poverty, any government policy that cannot better the life of the people is as good as nothing.
All right,
that is what we are talking about.
Okay, we have to pay some bills right about now. We'll be back very shortly. Do stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
ṣé ìrìn àjò afẹ́lẹ́ fẹ́ rìn ní àbí tọrọ ajé lọ síbi yòówù káàkiri àgbáyé pẹ̀lú You Fit Fly ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé nípa ṣíṣe ètò ilé ìtura tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ àti bíbánira tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ọkọ̀ òfurufú lọ síbi kíbi tẹ́ bá ń lọ lágbàáyé You Fit Fly ló ṣe é gbọ́kànlé a ti ní ìrírí ọdúnmọ́dún nípa bíbániṣètò tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ìrìnnà àti ilé ìtura káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé tí àwọn arìnrìn-àjò sì ń ṣe sàdánkátà sí wa tí ẹ̀yin nìkan ni ìdílé yín tàbí ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn You Fit Fly ní ọ̀nà àbáyọ tí ìrìn àjò yín yóò fi rọ̀ yín lọ́rùn ẹ pè wá sórí 0901 111 1190 0901 111 1190. ẹ sì lè kàn sí wa lórí www.youfitfly.com tàbí lọ́fíìsì wa tó wà ní block 8 plot 15 lópòpónà 7up Olúyọ̀lé main estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn Ọ̀yọ́ state. You Fit Fly ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ìrìnnà gba ilé ìtura káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
For the top 10 banging songs across Nigeria,
top 10 super songs across Africa.
The Top 10 Countdown is your show.
Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. with Danica and King Kenny. When the big names talk, they talk to us. Join GBOLABO Famous Call and her team of panelists on the podium.
By 9 a.m. every Saturday for a deep dive into trending political and socio-economic issues.
òǹwòye kan Robert Green ló sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní ká mọ̀ nǹkan dúdú kì í ṣe nípa ẹ̀bùn àbí ọgbọ́n inú nìkan ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú bá a ti ń lo àkókò ẹni àti àyè tá a fún ìyà ìmọ̀ kan ṣé wọn náà wá dángájíá nínú àwọn ayò bíi chess ludo scrabble draught àbí ayò ọlọ́gbọ́n á jẹ́ pé ìwọ gan lè yíwà fún. tẹ́sán àti Midas Casino ti ṣe pẹpẹ bọ́ọ̀lù master 2023 ẹ jọra ṣàṣà wá gba fọ́ọ̀mù yín pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà ní 32 FM àjàkẹ́rì Cocoa House nìbàdàn tàbí kí ẹ kàn sójú òpó ayélujára www.32fm.com.ng/boardmaster láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ ẹ̀bùn owó wà láti fi ṣèfàjẹ́ tó fi mọ́ tẹlifíṣàn rechargeable fans clippers blenders àti oríṣiríṣi àwọn ẹ̀bùn mìíràn. ọgbọ̀njọ́ oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún yìí ni ìdíje náà yóò wáyé agogo 9 òwúrọ̀ ní Midas Casino tó wà ní nọ́mbà 44 Awólọ́wọ̀ road lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Sloggers ní Bódìjà Ìbàdàn. Midas Casinos ló ṣagbátẹrù boardmasters tọdún ní ìkànnì ẹ̀dẹ́rìn-pọ̀ṣọ́nù ló tẹ́ pẹpẹ. fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ pè sórí 09132100168 tàbí sórí 08152831139. Boardmasters 2023 ẹ jẹ́ ká fàgbà hànra wa.
There are depths and dimensions to laughter. 32 FM presents Laughter Fest. Featuring CDQ.
What's will be intro to the Kashilu about my father, Abuba Nimsek here in GBOLABO Vabri, and I'll be live at Laughter Fest happening on the 1st of October at Amphitheater at the Masigba Ibadan. Watimagbo, powered by 94.9 FM. Philip, want to see you guys there, 4 p.m. All PM, you're the beauty.
Said Oshupa, Fabulous Peasy, comedians Wuli Agba, Remote, Short Family, Nepo Boys, Wuli 3310, and many more. Venue, Racecourse Amphitheater at Damasiba Ibadan. Date, October 1st. Time, 4 p.m. This event is proudly sponsored by Regal Dry Gin and Trophy. This event is free.
Laughter is laughter, but what is laughter without your 32? 32 FM 94.9.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back to Break It On Papers Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we still have Austin doing analysis with us, but we have to open the phone lines right about now. And the numbers to call in is 070 5500 000 Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Inga Mario, calling from Apata.
All right, please go
Good morning, Mr. Austin. Well, on the NSC's proposed strike, I think the strike is imminent. We need the strike because that happens to be the only way forward for us now in the country. The PDP who wants to keep the government on their feet, who wants to be the opposition, they are not talking. Even the house is not in order. So the only body we have that can fight for the masses now is the NSC. So let the strike come because the government could not even treat what the masses are feeling for now. Imagine buying a fuel of 5,000 naira and moving from challenge to the bed. Before you come back, the fuel is gone. So how do we go from there? I want to appeal to Mr. Austin as well. So please ensure that it comes to the studio from Monday to Friday because we love his analysis. Thank you very much.
All right. I guess Mr. Austin got that quite clearly. The numbers are still 070 55000 or 080 And for international audience, +234 90 Those are the numbers to call into the program this morning. And we're also live on Facebook. Do not forget, and also on YouTube. In case you want to drop your comments there, you can also quickly follow us and drop your comment on Facebook and also on YouTube. 32FM 949 Ibadan. And we have this one from Omotayo Oluwarotimi on Obamiro on Facebook. The catalog of all negative effects of the economy is very disheartening. However, the economy will not improve by people going on strike. The economy would improve by people working very hard. And Okidiron Babatsunde is saying, it is unfortunate that even the legitimate palliative, all right, which is salary of workers, is not being paid promptly, just like under Buhari Din.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, thank you, friend. Welcome on board this morning.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate and like the Austin analysis this morning. It was raw and it was factual. It was unbiased. You see, we can't continue to suffer in this way. The promises of the Jagaban, when it was coming up, people, those of the supporters now are not happy because everybody going through untold hardship. And that untold hardship becoming diabolical in nature. Workers cannot cope even to pay school fees for their children. If people are borrowing now, even most people are not creating work again. Because the person are taking over the salary, can't even feed. So I don't know why it's taking too much time, performance now to do the needful to the Nigerian workers. Most people are suffering it because they have to go and buy things. People are buying on credit. They don't have money to even fund their goods for workers to buy. So please, something should be done. Our thing is good. In fact, it was good. When I had the analysis, it was becoming unbearable, becoming disheartening and discouraging. Please, even administration should not be giving us promises and let nothing will be done. We are enough for the promises, Uganda. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so much for dropping that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, please. Can we have your name and where you're calling us from?
I have heard me speaking.
Okay.
The plan NSC strike. If some people say it will cripple economy, that's not correct. The government.
All right, we hope to have you back at your Fagbemi there. The numbers are still 070 55000 or 080 Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I'm John Uzonjoku. Thank you, Austin, from your comment there, and thank you for the lamentation Nigeria have heard from you. I want to talk about the suit of saying too early to go on strike. Nigerians lost manpower, time, energy, and its reputation in the international community. As a result of protests organized by labor, ably supported by opposition political parties. As a result of subsidy removal unilaterally carried out by the school of Jonathan Dell. Without consultation, let me tell you, whether any person says it's too early or not, Babangida had this to tell the nation. No time, it's too late to make a start. Let them go, that is right, because it was organized the same thing. We went to in 2012, January, and no one said it was too early then. This time
All right, I hope you'll call us back. The line is off. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name of
Happy weekend.
Same to you.
This is John Olariwaju calling from Agbo.
All right, please, John, go ahead.
On the policy of Mr. President, is not going to help the masses because we look the Lagos State as a case study. Mr. President governed Lagos State for 8 years, and the people that govern after him, I know everybody knows vividly that he has hand in there. And if you look at the economy of Lagos State, is it pay for the masses? Is the masses of the Lagos State are better off when we talk about their standard life? Go there. What about the housing? The Lagosian get the affordable housing? Did they live comfortable? So if you look at this, compare it to now becoming Nigeria president, what are we expecting? To me, I'm not surprised if the economic system of Mr. President look like it are not pay for the masses. I'm not even surprised. You know, the last speech of Mr. President, he make measures of how to disburse the money, even into the call lunar something or whatever. He didn't give any money to them. Instead of that, they gave money to the governors, to the state, and they started sharing the palliative whatever, throwing it to the people. Where are that lunar whatever that he's talking about, manufacturer that he's talking about? He didn't give anybody money now. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, and John Olariwaju, for dropping that. We have this one, Raji Afiz Abiola Raja from Facebook, and he wrote this one, and it's quite lengthy. It says, "Good morning, Bola. About the NLC planning strike, honestly, I commended the Ajero-led NLC, okay, and administration for its activeness, unlike Ayuba Waba administration, where NLC activities took place." Okay, that keeps going out. We take this one, we'll go back to that message. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where you calling us from?
My name is Harry from Badaya.
All right, please go ahead, Ayo.
I want to ask us one question. The federal government is telling NSC now that there's subsisting law judgment about that strike. If the NSC proceed on that strike now, if the government said they will not pay them, what will happen? Thank you.
All right, we'll have Austin answer that very shortly. Let me get back to the message of Raji Afiz Abiola Raja. It says, "It is obvious that strike is the only language the Nigerian government understand most." And he is also saying, okay, language they understand, and there is no serious commitment from government till now. Okay, and we have this one from Honorable Akinkumi Camille Dakola. Says, "The economy is so hard and tough. Commodities are on the rise. Fuel and dollar are the two factors some of Nigerians attach to the increment in prices of goods and commodities. President Bola Ahmed should wake up the economic team and improve on it." All right, Austin, you actually listening to that question. Do you want to react to that?
The issue of no work, no pay may not arise because proper automaton has been given. And don't also forget NSC is not ASU. So what you can do with just part of the organized labor is different from what you can do to the General Labor Congress itself. It is also the height of hypocrisy to say that strike will not cripple the economy. You know, somebody said that while phoning in, that strike will not disrupt the economy. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Strike will ground the economy. My grouse and the grouse of so many Nigerians is that why should the government allow strike to be the only language that they will understand? They have not properly engaged. That's the truth. It is not. It is sad for the minister to now be coming out and say NSC is not coming for meeting. What have you been doing for that 21-day automaton? That is what we are talking about. But it's just a sign of hypocrisy or sheer hatred or what have you to say that, oh, when people go on strike, it does not affect the economy. It's a lie. If the strike becomes severe, even the daily wage earner will suffer for it. There are some people that if they don't go out, they cannot eat. They will also suffer for it. All what we are asking the government to do is to act fast, put in some stopgap measure, some measure in place to cushion the effect of the suffering. Don't also forget the economy has always been battered. That is another angle entirely. the economy has always been better. You can't expect what happened in the Buhari era and expect economy to turn around overnight. But what we are saying is that some of these reforms that this current government is doing, they should watch them and put some measure in place that the subsidy that they have removed and the inflation and the exchange rate, they should put policy in place at least to put a control measure so that the poor masses who have always suffered will not continue to be at the mercies of our politicians at every point in time. That is all we are saying.
All right, Austin, this conversation will continue on another edition. We must say a big thank you to you, Austin, for doing this with us this morning. Thank you a lot. And to all our listeners and those who call, who called into the program, we'll say a big thank you to you. And of course, my name is GBOLABO. Famous School. Bye for now.